so we can showcase what's going on where we are. Meanwhile, spawning in the top left-hand corner of Ruby Rock, we have the yellow Protoss player. We have the Protoss player from land of Czechia representing Team Roddy. Hey, shout out to Roddy, of course, for raiding earlier. His boy is here. It is Sebesdes. One of his boys. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the pink Zerg player representing the Platinum Heroes. It is Hatsu. Here we go. Sebesdes coming into this is one of the more favored players to go far in the event. Meanwhile, Hatsu is typically hyper aggressive and hyper cheesy. We often see all-ins, often just a bunch of all-ins here. Early gas, early pool timings is what we expect out of Hatsu. For now though, hatch first. Okay. For now, it's going to be a hatch first build out of Hatsu. I'm going for a standard opener. Sebesdes, I'm sure, is somewhat familiar with Hatsu's play and Hatsu's style. We'll see. As the probe is coming for a scout, and we'll confirm the timing of the hatchery. So I'm a little bit under the weather. It's quite cold here in Australia. It's cold, man. It's cold. We're good. Solid. So it is going to be a hatch gas pool standard opener out of Hatsu. Likewise, Sebesdes does confirm, going for his own gate expand into Cybercore. Everything so far is looking as it should. So far, at least. So far, so good. From here, our eyes are going to be on how this gas is going to be spent, whether it's only link speed, and whether or not Hatsu stays in gas. As I mentioned previously, Hatsu has an aggressive reputation, so there's a higher chance that we stay in gas and we could go into a faster Roach Warren or into a Bane Bust, for example, or something more unorthodox. Or we could pull out and play standard. True. Could be the case. Initially, we have our third base on the way. Hatsu is backing up some gas here, and is staying in gas as well. So what's important is that Hatsu is mining more than 100 gas. Link speed has begun, and we are still staying. Okay, we're somewhat pulling out. It's a little bit inefficient, a little bit messy here when it comes to Hatsu's execution, but I believe it looks like a standard opener, only leaving one in gas. From here, Stargate opener out of Sebesdes. Going with the Stargate, into the Oracle, into the third. So far, everything's very standard from Sebesdes. And we're getting into our early game. Building up into our early game. As the Oracle's being chronoed. Soon be moving out. Adept is just threatening a dive, just poking, just prodding. Spores are on the way in time. So far, everything's looking as it should. It just comes down to Hatsu keeping up with the aggression, keeping up with the Adepts and with the Oracles. Oh, but that is an early Roach Warren. Now we see why we left one in gas. Okay. And again, this is what we mentioned out of Hatsu. We expect early aggression. Adepts, they poke in, they get one drone kill, they shade into the main. Ooh, they shade in, drones are going down, and they get a full scout. They confirm the early Roach Warren. So Sebesdes does scout the Roach all in. Behind this, 7 drones going down. Aye, brutal damage in the main. The Oracle pokes in as well. The Queens will deflect. A nice defense against the Oracle at least. But Sebesdes knows. And behind this, we should be seeing a more defensive response here. So far, still claiming the third, looking to defend the third base. But we should be seeing an earlier Twilight Council and earlier Blink. As we're going for a fast lair. Huh. So it was the early Roach Warren, but because it got scouted, we're actually going for the lair instead, so we're not making use of the Roach Warren. This doesn't make sense from Hatsu just because of the early scout, so there's a high chance that Sebesdes is ready for the Roach all-in, but this also means that now Hatsu is going for a delayed tech, and it's going to be a messy follow-up here because of the economic damage. The drone count is very low. Meanwhile, that is an early Twilight Council. As I mentioned, early Council into early Blink is a very safe way to play, especially upon scouting a fast Roach Warren. That would make the most sense here for Sebesdes. Now, the downside of this build is that the forge is going to be late. It's going to be a later forge for Sebesdes, but again, against perceived aggression, it should be fine. Yep, there's that later forge. So delayed +1, but faster blink. Assuming it's going to be blink. Yeah, once again they shade in. Are there any Zerglings? Oh, there are 11 Zerglings, but they're out of position. They do race on over to defend, but that's still going to be another 7 drones going down. Ay, ay, ay. And before we get into the Roadshaw lane, this is already getting out of hand. It's getting out of hand, getting out of control here. 9, 10 drones going down. Yeah, Sebesdes is wreaking havoc. Roach speed is on the way. Lings are amassing as well, but Hatsu just doesn't have an economy. Can't really sustain this. Is on what, 1.5 base mining. Some instant control there with the adepts. There's a fast blink that we did mention. So early blink. And Hatsu is trying to redrone. Oof. Yeah, we're redroning here. I mean, again, it's understandable just because of all the economic damage, but this means that the early Roach Horn and the early Roach Speed timing here is going to be missed. Like, the window is closing where this can be effective, if not already. So some desperation here out of Hatsu. And Sebesdes is starting to outscale. Not even waiting for blink. Oh my god. Yeah, Sebesdes is just moving out. Has the confidence to do so. Again, I do believe that Hatsu initially wanted to go for an earlier Roachal in, but because of the scouting, tried to shift gears, led into messy adept defense, and led into this kind of game state. And now we can just walk in. Yeah, Sebesdes, he can walk in, takes down the queens, gets into the mineral line. Spore does crumble. And with that, there is no defense. GG gets called, and Sebesdes will take game number 1. Oh, GG. GG, well played. Sebesdes will take a lead in the series. Again, it did seem like Hatsu wanted to go for a more aggressive and earlier build, but there was scouting, there was aggression early on, and it feels like Hatsu had to shift gears and kind of adjust the build, and led into more opportunities for Sebesdes to find more economic damage. GG. GG, well played. With that, we're going to be loading into game number 2. Going to be loading into Tourmaline. This time, a much smaller map, more aggressive map as well. I'm expecting early gas and early pool, but we'll see. Spawning in the let's go. Spawning in the top right-hand corner of Tourmaline, we have the yellow Protoss player from the land of Czechia, representing Team Roddy, leading the series 1-0. It is Sebesdes. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the pink Zerg player representing the Platinum Heroes. Down in the series, we'll see if he can bounce back and force the ace match. It is Hatsu. As Hatsu is joining. Early on, I thought it might be a 12 pool, as there was a delay in the first drone, but no, we're going to be joining, going to be saturating. So far, so good. And welcome to Tourmaline. Tourmaline is a smaller map of the map pool, short rush distance by ground, has a very open area outside of the natural, has an open third base, has an open fourth base, has an open center of the map as well. It's all very open, it's all very exposed, and it all does favor aggression. So we'll see. We'll see if Hatsu can actually get into their own build. Last game, we attempted with the early Roach Warren, and it got scouted, got denied, went into like a layer follow-up into Roach Speed, but the build never really got going. So hoping we can embrace our build this time in game 2. For now, hatch gas pool, standard opener. Sebesdes does confirm this with the probe. Does confirm. And once again, we'll see where the gas is going to be spent. Last game, it was link speed into keeping one worker in gas into the fast Roach Warren. Game 2, show us what you got. From Sebesdes, we're just expecting a standard game, like Gate expand into Cybercore, into Stargate, into Oracle, into a third. Like, there's no real need to deviate here. It's kind of the bread and butter of PvZ. And here we go, link speed is on the way, and this time Hatsu stays completely in gas. Okay, 3 workers still mining gas here. There's a higher chance we go for a Baneling Nest or for a Roach Run into an all-in. Oh boy, much more tech heavy this time, which I do appreciate. Again, this is typically where Hatsu does thrive. Probe does see the attempted 3rd expansion, and more lings are amassing, by the way. It's gonna be a Bane bus, right? But we have the money for it. We have the gas. Yeah, well, I mean, again, we're not training, we're not saturating. It's gonna be purely a ling flood. Are we not spending the gas on anything? Is this a fake out? Maybe. If it was gonna be Banelings, we would have seen an S by now. And here we go, the ling flood is amassing. We're amassing the ling flood. I will say that the continued gas income here is going to be hurting Hatsu then, just because this could have been extra minerals, extra lings, extra production. Lings, they try to bypass the adepts. They skirt around the edge. Oh, adepts, they do cast some reinforcements though. Behind this, we do have a full wall. Yeah, 2 gates, Cybercore, and the adepts. Oh, the battery gets thrown down. Sebesdes, he knows. Yeah, special shades into the main base, does confirm lack of drones, lack of saturation. Does wall off behind the adept, and the Oracle has arrived. Oh, and with the help of the Oracle here, there's no breaking this wall. Has a second wall behind this just in case. First Oracle is out. And Hatsu's completely all in. Completely all in. The ling flood is coming. And again, we'll eventually take down the first gateway. Yeah, this gateway, the Oracle is just getting so much value. The gateway's getting low. So many things are going down. And with that, the gateway has fallen. The lings just try to flood in, but there's a second wall behind this. We have 2 batteries, soon to be 3 batteries, and the adepts are now going for the Cybercore, but we're running out of Zerglings. GG gets called. And Sebesdes will claim the series 2-0, advancing on to the next round. GG. GG, well played. Again, a ling flood makes the most sense in Tourmaline. Unfortunately, at this point, I want to say that Hatsu has a reputation, says Sebesdes. He was very, very quick to wall up, wall off, get the batteries up and running, get the secondary wall as well. Very quick reactions out of Sebesdes to fully set up defensively, and that natural base was not going to break. No shot was not going to break here. In the end, there's a world where maybe if Hatsu can zone away the adepts and deny vision a little bit longer and deny scouting, then maybe we can try to pull this off, but in the end, Sebesdes played it safe. GG. Good reactions, good responses. With that, Hatsu is out of the tournament, and now we can take a moment to catch up on the bracket itself. Exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys want to have a look back yourselves. Let's catch up on all the matches that are happening and ongoing. Okay, from the top, from the very top here, again, this is a double elimination tournament. There's the upper bracket and a lower bracket. Seamus and UD Soldier, they're waiting in the upper semifinals. Meanwhile, we did end up casting Art versus Hormono. Art did take down Hormono to advance on against GG Machine. If you recall, we covered the series earlier. GG Machine did take down Art to advance on to the upper bracket finals, waiting for the winner of Seamus and UD Soldier. So GG Machine, he did advance on. Scrolling down a little bit further to the lower bracket, though, we have so many matches to cover. So many matches down here. We just covered Babe Marine versus Middle. So Babe Marine takes down Middle VK, and Babe Marine, he's up against Rebellion in the second round of the lower brackets. Going to be facing off in another TVP. We just covered Hatsu versus Sebesdes. Sebesdes takes down Hatsu 2-0. Sebesdes now up against Art in a PvP. Winner of that goes up against Jimmy in the next round. Likewise, Hacker's Top is also down here as well. Scrolling down a little bit further here, we have our next set of matches. We have Hydra versus Ducklings in a PvP matchup. That is going to be covered later on in the broadcast. Scroll down a little bit further here. It is cut off on the brackets, but I will let you know that scrolling down a little bit further, we have Mini Zerg versus Milky Cow. That is going to be our next series. It's going to be a PvZ matchup between the Cow and the Mini Zerg, followed by Fiant versus Defiance, and then Hydra versus Ducklings. So we have 3 series left here tonight, a PvP, TvZ, and another TvZ as well. So 3 series to go. We are going to be going on a short break. Here, and when we come back, we'll have the remainder of the broadcast. Also, as a reminder, for those that are maybe tuning in for the first time, this event is a multi-month long tournament because every series is casted. We only have 3 series left, then we're done for the week. Next week we'll be back with more lower bracket matches, and eventually everything is going to be casted, but it takes a long time. It takes a long time. Players have time to prepare for their matches, of course. That is the benefit of this event. They have like a week to prepare for their matches ahead of time, and then we can jump in. As this tournament is probably going to last like another 3-4 weeks just to get through all of this. Like there's so many games to go back, and the upper bracket as well, of course. But for now, we're going to be going on a short break. When we come back, we'll have our next series. We'll have Milky Cow versus Mini Zerg. We'll see you soon. We'll see you soon after the break. Oh, un momento.